Greetings, I'm Rodger Newbold, and welcome to episode number 49 of the Experienced Photography. My fellow photographer, my great friend and partner and editor for this episode is Mr. Matt Rich. Are you there today, my friend? I'm glad. In our most recent past episode, we observed that making photographs under windy conditions required some new or different or updated efforts. We do hope you learned something from that, something new, come blowing in on the breeze. Today, we are thrust into the big shoes unexpectedly. As I write this, it's been 2 weeks since the mortal passing of one of our photo friends, and this has become almost a necessity to do this vlog today. There has been many questions and concerns about results. The reason I address this subject is twofold. First, the connection was, what do I do to prepare my personal effects, archives, portfolios, libraries, my photo kit in the event of my demise? Second, what can I do immediately to relieve some of the burden on others in this archive? I was really not geared up to deal with this matter, especially at this time. I am not confident that I'm even qualified to be asked this question. But me and my big mouth, I put out there, if you have a question, you just ask. And in fact, the world is one eternal round. And for the near future, it will continue to spin. As depressing as a thought it is, we all at some point will be forced to contend with the eventuality, or our survivors will have to trust in this. From my limited point of view, I have attempted to contemplate some of the problems in distribution that may have to be made. I tried my best. Bob, I'm sorry. This is a necessity. Let's take a look. I don't want to make any presumptions as to how your photo empire is constructed and arranged, so I'll speak mainly from my problematic life. Film and digital assets are extremely different to deal with. So let's look at digital first in a separate division because they are difficult. If you have relatives that are not regular communication with you, but you would like to circulate images to them, start with a big trip in visiting our vlog number 23, our digital file organization. Please go back and review that. Put your files and assets where you can access them readily. Too many pictures takers have assets and things spread from hell to breakfast. Some on a phone, some on a laptop, some in print form, some resting in some tomb only known to you, but only on good days. Problem number one, start immediately. Consolidate holdings to one primary spot. The sooner, the better. Now, password protection and encryption will become problematic, and that's an absolute certainty. Number two, you can select a non-private images that are good to share. In my case, even my nude portfolio I created is fair to share. So you have to decide what you want other people to see. Write these images to a CD, a DVD, a Blu-ray disc, or a special gold archival storage disk. Now, these types of disks are high quality and they're designed for long-term stable storage. The likelihood that these disks will be readable in 10 years from now are high. Even today, we're transferring obsolete digital media into current readable forms absolutely easily. These will be readable for a very long time, and they are easy to duplicate and distribute. So 3, it may be slightly less stable, but it's exceedingly useful. Store your digital collection on an external SSD. That stands for solid state device. This could be your secondary source for backup. You can procure extreme high quality devices from Amazon or SanDisk, iLight, Glyph Atom. You can get Lexar, Western Digital, or any manufacturer from 1 terabyte to 8 terabytes. I find them extremely small in size. They're readable, they're external, they're used just like an USB thumb drive. Their capacity is much greater. Their temperature range and ruggedness is far better, far more reliable, no moving parts. They're better than the older disk drives. Transfer or backup every hard drive you have to an SSD. And I have advised many times, they do not crash. P.S. Update often and store a set off-site in a safety deposit box or somewhere else, but have survivor legal access. Now, here's a suggestion I read about today, also available from Amazon. It's called the PhotoStick Omni. Here's a picture. The Omni makes a very automated job out of collecting together all your information from multiple sources. It has a plug-in adapter you can collect and distribute from phones and tablets, computers, etc. It just can't hurt. Number 4, as recommended several times over the past, keep a record, an index written down on one of your handy-dandy Moleskine journals. By the way, Moleskine, I haven't heard from you. It's a good idea to slip one of these indexes into the safety deposit box so your trustee will know what is what and what's going on, and have a list of passwords, keys, their index, titles, finances, anything. Especially a whole batch of brass keys means nothing to nobody else. Make an index of what they are. 5, those images you have personal affinity for should be printed. You're the creator. You know how they should look. They should be colored, etc. Don't leave another mystery. The master print portfolio should also be boxed and ready for immediate emergency transport in the event of fire or other emergency. You know, I have an aluminum case. It's got a little handle. It's for nearby access. In the drop of a hat, I can pick it up and out the door I go with a master set of prints. Paranoid? Well, who isn't? If you don't care, I can guarantee nobody else will care either. Then it's dumpster fever. Number 6, if the archive is so dang important to you, if it's that important to you, share it now. It's so very easy to write a USB and send it to your children, to important associates, to colleagues. Let your fantasies out and let them have everybody be happy. If they discard it, you know what kind of care they would have proffered it in some life-altering event. It's just one less thing you don't have to worry about or wonder about or take care of. As long as we're distributing work, how about producing a low-cost, self-published book from Blurb or Shutterfly or one of the other agencies? It's an inexpensive, high-quality method of dissemination. They're a snap to create, and once all you get your digital assets together and they're all gathered, you push the button, it gets printed. Make a copy for everybody you'd like to have. Number 7, enough people have been locked out of a dead parent's device. So many so that Apple and Google have now made it possible to grant posthumous access. Here's a photograph by Apple. Apple calls their program Digital Legacy. And you can set it up with the keys and everything in the iCloud. And after a period of time, 6, 12, 18 months, you choose your contacts and they'll be emailed with a link to download all of your data. The solution seems a little blunt, but some people certainly don't want to give any hypothetical future children unfurled access to their camera roll. Without getting too graphic, let's just say that Elon Musk doesn't have enough bequeath money to cover their therapy bills. I don't know what you've been shooting, but you got to take care of it. Now, no matter how many photos you've taken in your first smartphone decade, imagine having to go through 30 years worth on your deathbed. It ain't going to happen. Seriously, if you've got a young child now and you want to have the baby pictures, start an album today. Start with your favorites and add to it. Plus, it will make backing them all up much easier and much faster. Now, part 2. The second half of today's discussion is the problem of dealing with what can be done immediately to relieve some of the burden others have on facing the archive. As surmised, film and other ephemera are going to be far more complex to deal with. There are few specialists equipped to handle such delicate materials. So number 8 steers those dealing with this area to seek assistance from an alma mater, a historical society, or other government agencies with conservative facilities. As a photographer, the best you can do is organize all of your possessions in alphabetical order or numerical order or by subject matter or something. Get them together for a future archive. Be certain to label things well and write what you can about the captives. Try to leave an example of fine images, especially if you dealt with historical processes. I'm desperately afraid, in most cases, these educational samples will be the first thing dumped and destroyed. This will be a major loss. Number 9 is the final disposition of a specialized library. Now, if you have first edition signed books, your caretakers may be in luck. They might be able to have some of these fine examples and be able to sell them. Certainly the internet will make this task easier. Few books, other than that, will have any financial worth. Most, unfortunately. Now, one can only hope that a family member or a colleague would be interested in accepting a very knowledgeable gift. Number 10 is old photographic equipment. what can I say? After being an avid follower of Pawn Stars, I've been forced to realize that the toys that I slaved for, that I labored, that I bartered and dickered, are now worth next to nothing. You know, my great-grandmother left me an ancient, I thought, 4x5-inch Pony Primo camera when I was 12 years old. Great old great-grandma. I attempted to garner $1,000 for it, and I was met with hearty laughter. I'm afraid your descendants will also be highly disappointed in all your treasures. Bequeathing them to an interested grandchild is probably worth more as a memory than anything else. The possibility of a colleague being able to use them is also a prospect. I'm really sorry to burst that giant savings account bubble, but old camera gear is worth next to nothing. Now, everyone's journey of grief is different and unique. So take the time to feel emotionally prepared to tackle the job of sorting and looking through all of your loved ones' things. It's not easy, and it won't ever get easy. And it's hard, I know. Be patient with yourself, and above all, allow yourself the space to mourn. Holding on to a photograph and listening to stories can be healing. Savor the moments with a picture that brings you the love of one life that you had. You're not procrastinating, you're grieving. And it can be helpful to go through boxes of old photos with a sibling or a friend or someone to listen to your memories, or for somebody else to share their memories with you. Hearing others talk lovingly of your loss, especially when you discover something new about them, will be a true gift. I recommend set an approximate timeline for yourself to finish sorting through all of this and build some kind of timeline. Forgive yourself for throwing away photographs that were once considered so precious by your parents or others. It's most likely impossible to keep every memory of every cherished thought you ever had. It's assuredly difficult to care as much as they did. Although we did our best. My friends, I'm sorry that we had to deal with such a harsh reality. But as everything does, we've come to an end today. Perhaps we analyze some topics that will prepare you for the future. I hope you can take heart in this. So until we meet here again in happier moods, at a better time, I offer you a tip of my hat, friends. Godspeed to your life, Bob. We loved you. I hope as others face this problem, this will help. Cheerio for now.